Padayappa, a crossroad indeed for Rajini movies. It's a movie after which Rajini took a few years away from cinema, and he was not wrong because, in a sense, he has reached the peak of Hollywood at that time. And when he tried to come back after a few years with the spiritual film Baba, it kind of backfired among the public. But of course, later on, many people said they had a certain fondness for the ideas and concepts presented in that movie by Rajini. Now, Padayappa is interesting in multiple ways. It's got a clothing, Rajini's clothing, that is quite iconic with the white, what do you call it, jippa type of a dress and a brownish kind of a shawl that he wears. That's quite iconic. Just like the auto driver's dress that he wears in the Basha and the jacket that he wears in Basha. So some of his clothing choices also have become iconic. The way he dresses up in Muthu and Annamalai as a farmhand type of look with the towel at the waist, right? So yes, style icon. He's called that for a reason. Now, besides those things and the fact that it had so much star cast and yet each of them performed well, it's really a kind of a peak teamwork, I would say. Everybody was working hard towards the success of the movie. There was no personal agendas, unlike people like Pa Ranjit, DJ Nyanawil, most recently Lokesh Kanagaraj, who had their own agendas in making the film. Old school directors, they were sincerely wanting the film to be a hit, meaning that the public is satisfied, Rajini is satisfied, and the producer is satisfied with a good income, right? No other agenda. Another one interesting thing, I want to do a video on this, but maybe I'll just mention here as well. One very interesting that links Padayappa with my topic is Padayappa and Jailer2, but that links Padayappa with Thalapathy of all things, 1991, iconic Maniratnam work, whereby that scene, where Shobana and Rajini part ways and there was like two columns there, like a temple setup. If you watch Padayappa carefully, the place where Rajini holds fort with the Murugan spear, it's the same spot actually they use for shooting. So I'm very curious. I think it's a lucky spot, and I hope maybe Rajini in any of the future films include that iconic area. That's kind of cool. It's a stylish place to me, and Rajini is a stylish person. So it's a very good combination. And of course, Padayappa also is linked with Baba that came a few years after that in 2002, whereby all these crossover universe, that location, all talking like it's some brand new thing or Marvel Cinematic Universe, right? So it was done way back then itself. There's one scene in Baba whereby Rajini will be having this Padayappa get up there, and suddenly Neelambari also will appear for a very short scene. I think the newer release they chopped all those things, but you can still find it in YouTube and some internet sites. So Padayappa has a link to Baba as well. So Padayappa's linked to Baba, Padayappa's linked to Thalapathy, and now let's come to future Jailer2. So it's very curious that although the original plan was to film Annamalai, to re-release Annamalai on theatres, and everybody was working towards that, suddenly out of the blue, with a very few days notice, they decided that Padayappa is going to come out. Now, are you guys all very curious why suddenly this decision was made, right? In retrospect, it seems quite a guarantee that Padayappa will be a hit on re-release, although maybe nobody thought about it before. But you all know that how Basha and all the other Rajini hits are constantly played on TV until people are bored to death. However, Padayappa being Rajini's own production, he did not allow it to be shown on TV a lot of times. So there's a big pent-up demand. The younger generation want to see it. Older generation want to see it just to relive those memories, nostalgia factor and all. So I think a very smart move by Rajini to restrict the access to it. And maybe Rajini should have been more courageous in making more production like Kamal does. And we have faith in Rajini because when he's firing on all cylinders, he's a very good cinema technician. So probably he could have done a good job as well. But after his film Maviran, I think, didn't do so well, I think he became a bit phobic about producing, and even if he did, he tried to not be very visible producer, so it will look like somebody else producing, but it is him. Even the story of Padayappa was not by Rajini, from which K.S. Ravikumar did a screenplay work. Rajini was hesitant to say much that time, but after all these years, since the film is a big hit, he seems to be taking major credit for the story. It's not wrong, it was his story, but it's just that it wasn't so pronounced when Padayappa came out, right? So why now Jailer 2 and Padayappa? Well, let me explain the theory, right? I'm not saying this is what is going to happen, but it's an interesting theory. Well, we all know Jailer Part 1, what happened. Rajini had to kill his son. And spoiler alert, guys, if you haven't seen Jailer, okay, sorry. Okay, until now you haven't seen Jailer, come on, man. It's 2025 already. So, what we think is that there's a big possibility that now the drama angles between Rajini and Ramya Krishnan, because Ramya Krishnan is, of course, it's her son, and the fact that Rajini killed him, Ramya would have said that even if your son kills you, you're already 60 or whatever it is years old. It's okay if you die. Why didn't you give him a chance? Why didn't you get somebody to arrest him or something like that? Why did you kill him, right? So that's a very clear pathway of a villain hero arc there. So and many new generation people who just watch Jailer might be shocked, like, Ramya as a villain, they might not feel so excited by it or whatever. So to re-stimulate the memory, to re-show what Ramya Krishnan is capable of, and to get people hyped up and excited, if Jailer 2 is indeed having Ramya as the villain or the antagonist, then showing this Ramya at a peak in Padayappa was a very brilliant strategic move. Now that people have seen what Ramya is as a villain, then the arc in Jailer 2 will create even bigger excitement. But it could backfire as well. Maybe people will compare Ramya's performance in Padayappa and say it's too much or too little compared to that in Jailer 2. But anyway, it's just a theory of the link between Padayappa and Jailer 2. But at the very least, we can say the common thing is Ramya Krishnan is acting alongside Rajinikanth in both these films, right? And Nelson is making a lot of effort. I was also excited about Balaya making an appearance from Telugu film industry, but apparently he backed out. That's very disappointing. Hopefully he reconsiders. It was a lot of fun with all the cameos in Jailer 1. We hope to see that in Jailer 2. And if Nelson plays his card right, with Ramya as an antagonist, maybe a primary villain, and then the secondary villain is maybe the Varman's boss. Varman, remember, he died in Jailer 1. Again, spoiler alert. So we are expecting some boss of Varman to show up in this film. So you can share in the comment section who will be that next or second villain in the film. A lot of people are inside the S.J. Surya, even Vijay Sethupathi apparently came in. So definitely will be interesting. So guys, I think this might be a strategy to prepare us for Jailer 2 with Ramya as antagonist. And also, you must not forget, Rajini himself said there's an idea for Neelambari Part 2 Padayappa, because if you see the end of Padayappa, she will say that if I take a next birth, I will come and destroy you. So either in Jailer 2, indeed, is the next birth for Rajini and Ramya. This time she's a wife. Eventually, she becomes a villain. That's a bit very far-fetched actually. But it's quite possible that Padayappa 2 is being worked on. If it's his daughters, the Nepo kids doing the script and all, well, they are not the greatest technicians. I think I don't blame them because they didn't come from the ground up. But hope they form a good team, a professional team, and come up with Neelambari. There'll be another interesting link to Padayappa. Okay guys, share in the comment section. Bye-bye.